James Gunn. We talked about him on Going in Raw episode 234 and him and Peter Safran taking over DC. And we talked about the reaction on Twitter he had and what's been going on over there. This article is going to touch on the backlash after they let Henry Cavill go as Superman after Black Adam's post-credit scene brought him back, all the hype, and bye-bye Henry Cavill. And there's a more nefarious push behind getting rid of Henry Cavill as Superman. And for those of you who've been here for a while, you know there's another Superman in the works by anti-American Marxist piece of human trash, Ta-Nehisi Coates, who likened the first responders on 9/11 to an alien force trying to shatter his body because he's black and he hates America. So this is the person we want to write Superman, who stands for truth, justice, and the American way. And I don't care that they changed that slogan. That makes no difference. It's truth, justice, and the American way.
Truth, justice, and the American way.
James Gunn responds to rumors regarding recasting, attempts to explain changes he's making with the DCU. This is great. James Gunn. Look at him with that dark hair. I wonder if he's one of those people, I bet you he dyes his hair white because he thinks it makes him look distinguished. DC Studios boss James Gunn recently responded to rumors regarding recasting the DC live-action characters, as well as explaining why he and Peter Safran are making the changes they are for the DCU. Twitter user Scooper My Time to Shine H recently claimed that Gunn and Safran will be recasting nearly the entire live-action DC cast. He noted that Henry Cavill, Ben Affleck, Ezra Miller, Ray Fisher, Zachary Levi, Jason Momoa will no longer be in the roles of Superman, Batman, The Flash, Cyborg, Shazam, and Aquaman. However, the scooper also indicated that Jennifer Holland, who plays Amelia Harcourt in The Suicide Squad and Peacemaker, will be returning. I wonder why. I wonder why that is. The scooper also claimed the entire cast of the Suicide Squad, or what was left of it following the film, would return, including Viola Davis as Amanda Waller. What a shock. What a shock. Well, Jennifer Holland is James Gunn's wife. He's like 56 and she's like 35, 36, around there. I'm not saying James Gunn likes him young, but, well, you know.
That's what I love about these high school girls, man. I get older, they stay the same age.
Yeah, see, here's the tweet from My Time to Shine. Hell, I'm surprised I didn't see this. I follow this person on Twitter. Henry say all done. Yeah. James Gunn's wife stays. Big shock. Viola Davis stays. The Suicide Squad, what's left of it, stays. Because those were his characters. Gunn refuted this rumor, writing on Twitter that the Suicide Squad would indeed get recast, while also stating that previous live-action actors will be staying on in their roles. User tweeted to Gunn, "Who knows if it's true, but recasting all the main DCEU characters, but keeping some will be interesting. How Peacemaker and Suicide Squad characters and actors live on, but others don't, particularly when they've all interacted together." Gunn replied, "I keep seeing posts like with this untrue theory. We're not recasting everyone except the Suicide Squad." Sure you're not, James. Sure you're not.
Sure you are.
One character that will be recast is Superman. Henry Cavill announced he would no longer be playing the character ahead of announcing a new live-action Warhammer 40K universe in partnership with Amazon across film and television. On a December 14th Instagram post, Cavill wrote, "I have just had a meeting with James Gunn and Peter Safran, and it's sad news, everyone. Long story short, we know they got rid of Cavill here. This is absolutely ridiculous, and for what they're going for in favor of as it comes to Superman, we'll see that later on in the article. It's unclear what the fate of Ben Affleck and Gal Gadot are. Gadot seemingly indicated she's still attached to the character earlier this month. She's done. They're not going to keep her. My only hope is he casts an actress. I want an athlete cast in this role that happens to be able to act. They need a actual Amazon. They need a woman who looks like an athlete, looks like a fighter, looks like a warrior. Why not Jesse Graff from American Ninja Warrior? Somebody like that.
Nice. Jesse Graff
Gunn previously claimed they were trying to find a project for Affleck to direct, but has not commented on his role as Batman. Gunn wrote a few days earlier on Twitter, met with Ben yesterday precisely because he wants to direct, and we want him to direct. We just have to find the right project. Sure, bud. Sure. He's not coming back as Batman. DC is going to be wrought with... they're going to be... I don't think they're going to be heroic-looking heroes. People in Hollywood hate Henry Cavill because of the fact that he's white, he's straight, and he's a nerd. Women love him because he's a good-looking man. He seems approachable and very friendly. You've never heard anything bad about this guy. Men like him because we like him because he's a nerd. The guy's a nerd. Builds gaming PCs, knows lore. He's into all this stuff. Source material is very important to him. That's why we like him and Hollywood hates him.
Hate it.
So of course they get rid of somebody like that. The fans actually like him, and the fans are toxic for knowing what they like in people that respect lore, and you guys know. As for Miller, Momoa, Levi, and Fisher, it's been radio silence. However, Miller will be reprising his role as Barry Allen in the upcoming Flash film. That's going to be a dumpster fire. Momoa returns as Aquaman in the upcoming Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, and Levi returns as Shazam in Shazam! Fury of the Gods. These movies are skippable. I mean, for all intents and purposes, you put Blue Beetle in there, they're all skippable. You don't need to see these because they're big nothing burgers. They're not going anywhere. It's ridiculous. I suggested last night, just shelf all these for tax write-offs then, just like you did the shitty Batgirl movie. If you're going to kill a universe, just kill it. Just snap it away like that. Don't leave the remnants out there.
You should have gone for the head.
They want to recoup some of their losses financially. That's why they won't do this. And I'm sure there's some legal precedent against doing that over and over again, as I'm sure. It's possible the radio silence on these three is due to upcoming film projects, and Gunn doesn't want to hurt their box office potential. However, that's pure conjecture. Why Cyborg was in the Justice League is beyond me. He's a Teen Titans character. Doesn't make any sense. And Ray Fisher's not coming back to DC anyway. I mean, that guy's a lightning rod. After the open conflict with Walter Hamada and also Joss Whedon over the last couple years, they're not bringing him back. Nevertheless, Gunn did also attempt to provide an explanation for the changes that he and Peter Safran are making regarding the DCU. He wrote on Twitter, "One of the things Peter and I were aware of when we took the job as heads of the DC studios was a certain minority of people online that could be, well, uproarious and unkind, to say the least. And a certain minority of... No, it's not a certain minority of people. They're called fans and paying customers. You narcissistic... You're garbage, Gunn. You're garbage. Okay? You're garbage. Yes, you've made some decent movies. Absolutely. But as a person, you're a piece of shit." And, of course, he went over and had to post this on Mastodon, which is nothing but leftist Twitter. I followed the link over to his post and kind of looked at, this isn't really for you, Mastodon, but this is more or less just a statement to see what I'm going through. Our choices for the DCU are based upon what we believe is the best story and the best for the DC characters who have been around for nearly 85 years. Perhaps these choices are great, perhaps not, but they are made with sincere hearts and integrity and always with the story in mind. So race swapping the mainline Superman is made with the best and sincere heart and integrity? Sure it is, bud. No one loves to be harassed or called names, but to be frank, we've been through significantly worse. Disrespectful outcry will never, ever affect our actions. Except that one time you got fired. But, Disney hired you back because they're full of those people who are animal bathing enthusiasts. He went on, "We were aware there would be a period of turbulence when we took this gig, and we knew we would sometimes have to make difficult and not so obvious choices, especially in the wake of the fractious nature of what came before us."
Which means nothing to me.
He concluded, "But this means little to us in comparison to our jobs as artists and custodians in helping to create a wide and wonderful future for DC." Yeah, what a joke, bud. I have a feeling this is going to be just as much of a dumpster fire as Marvel was. Here's some other tweets. After attempting to explain his and Safran's action, Gunn confirmed Blue Beetle movie still happening. Oh yeah. And I was excited for Blue Beetle. I'm like, new character, all right. It's going to, he'll be able to interact with some of the other characters, hopefully, after this movie. And it's gone. I like the kid that plays Miguel from Cobra Kai. Like I said, he had commitment to the role. He beefed up. The pictures that came out look good. I'm like, all right, man, we're going to get to see a new, fresh face. I don't want to hear anybody crying about him, diversity, because he's not white. And people like me are still excited for the role. So, goddamn, what a bunch of racists, right? Excited for a Latino superhero. How dare we? That's why I say this whole diversity thing. We reached the apex of progressivism in the 90s as far as race relations and sex and gender and all that stuff, and openly accepting, people with, lifestyles that aren't traditional. So that's the caveat, and now we've been regressive with this. Gunn says, among those on the slate is Superman. In the initial stages, our story will be focusing on an earlier part of Superman's life, so the character will not be played by Henry Cavill. And then we go down to the fact that I want to go over to Twitter, right? And James Gunn was whining on Twitter. Ray Fisher calls him out, says the way James Gunn uses fake grace on Twitter is really funny. Him going to bat for Joss Whedon, pseudo-apologizing for it, and then deleting it immediately before taking his new DC job is not. Refusing to apologize for toxic behavior seems to be a job requirement for WB and DC. Now, there was a young Ripper tweet in here, too. I want to go back and look at that. We're not unkind. We're not a minority. You lost us. I don't agree with Restore the Snyderverse at all. Peacemaker and the Suicide Squad were massive failures. If the juvenile humor contained in these properties were not funny enough to attract the coveted Marvel fan base, what hope does Gunn's reboot have? That's a fair point. That is a fair point. The only good movie James Gunn made was Guardians of the Galaxy, and it was written by someone else and barely gets the credit. Oh, she wrote that. Nice. I will. This is a fucking good one. I will keep what works and get rid of what doesn't. Profit. Man of Steel, 42 million. BVS, 105 million. Suicide Squad, 158 million. Wonder Woman, 252 million. The Suicide Squad, minus 170 million dollars. Oh, ouch, ouch. God damn, that's just funny. I don't care about the Snyderverse. I hate the Snyderverse. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. Yeah, you can see here, fired. This is all within the last, 8 to 10 hours. All this is going. Here's the quartering. Why even put one of the, yeah. You see, James Gunn is so quick to blame fans. Blames fans and geeks and gamers. Screen Rant. Let's see. A new report indicates that before James Gunn was hired for the job, Warner Brothers Discovery begged Todd Phillips to lead DC Studios. The whole town turned the job down. Well, yeah. Why would I wouldn't want to take that job? The James Gunn Justice League. That makes sense. That makes sense. Oh, here's a good reply though. The Zack Snyder Justice League. That's about right. That's about right. They're both not wrong.
Well, you're not wrong.
The great Eric July, young Ripper, said this yesterday after firing the almost universally liked Henry Cavill. Reports coming out at Warner Brothers Discovery indicate that the new James Gunn and Peter Safran-led DCEU will still be moving forward with the Ta-Nehisi Coates Black Superman project. And Ripper did a video about that. I've done a couple videos about it. It's absolutely ridiculous because they're going to make the main Superman black. I talked about this at the beginning of the video. Ta-Nehisi Coates is very anti-American, communist, Marxist kind of person. This is deconstruction, and to kind of take this thing home, James Gunn is not going to be a good fit for this, in my opinion. But now it's your turn. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Are you pro or, are you for or against James Gunn taking over DC? What do you think of his previous body of work? I did like Brightburn, but I don't want to see that in a Superman. And that kind of makes me nervous, knowing that he was responsible for that movie. But anyway, leave your thoughts. If today's the day I've earned to subscribe to the channel and ding the bell for notifications. I'm Etepo Kuina, the place to be reviews. I've been here with all of you. If I don't see you, have a great day, a pleasant vow, and I'll catch you on the next one.
It's better to burn out than to fade away.
I could do this all.